Welcome to Lesson 4 of Macroeconomics. And today we study chapters 10, 11, and 12. Chapter 10 deals with the issue of external costs and benefits. That is the concept of products that have an impact on those who do not directly participate in the market as either buyer or seller. We're asked to give a couple of examples of those, which we will do in class. And as you look at the lesson activities, we have 3 of them, one for each of the chapters. We will cover those in class, and you can enter those as discussed in class if you are in attendance Wednesday night. The problems or lesson assignment at the end, I'll go over a little bit here, but that will be assigned as home study to be submitted and graded online. So externalities can be positive or negative, and there is a public interest in solving these externalities. The most common solution is either a subsidy. In the case of a positive externality, government says we will throw a little money at that market in order to incentivize people to increase their consumption, thereby increasing the amount of external benefit. And in the case of negative externalities, we look at penalties or taxes to reduce. We sometimes call these sin taxes. A sin tax would be a tax on alcohol or tobacco consumption, which is widely regarded socially as unacceptable or even sinful. Not in a Christian context, however, but that's further discussion. Chapter 11 deals with public goods and common resources. We often speak of the problem of the commons, which is that property that is owned by everybody is actually owned by nobody, or treated as if it is owned by nobody. A number of interesting examples of this we can bring forward historically. One of the most interesting is the near extinction of the American bison or buffalo. And this happened with the advent of the railroad, and the railroad passengers would carry their guns with them, and they would shoot from the windows at the buffalo as they passed, thereby very nearly rendering the animal extinct. What's interesting is during this period when they were shooting at the buffalo, not a single miner or not a single gunman ever shot a cow. Now that's kind of interesting, and the reason being that the buffalo belonged to nobody, so there was no one to come and exact a penalty. But if you shot a farmer's cow, he would chase you down and shoot you. So this is the problem with community-owned goods, and so we have to make take some measures in the public to account for the value of these and to preserve them. For instance, the oceans are in a similar position today. So we'll take a look at that. And then finally, chapter 12, we'll look at the design of the tax system and some of the features of government taxation and problems that arise with respect to taxation. And we will focus particularly on the importance of property rights, one of our learning objectives, and understanding how the government attempts to solve external costs and benefits without resort to force. So incentives generally work better, and we'll take a look and compare and contrast those as well. The lesson assignments are given at the very end of the chapter, or at the end of the lesson page, and we'll take a look at those briefly in class, but Problem 2 on page 213, Problem 4 on page 230, and Problem 3 on page 254, and continuing on page 255. 3 small problems. What the text wants you to do here is to illustrate with a diagram each of the 3, so do not forget the diagram, and then give a brief explanation of what's going on in the diagram. And there is a sample or a similar answer in each of the chapters. I took a look at them this morning, worked through them. They're fairly straightforward. I think you will do quite well. So That will comprise our lesson for Wednesday night. I look forward to being with you, and we'll talk about some additional subjects as well. Take care. See you soon.